Filmmakers, it's time to use Soldo. Soldo is a payment solution that replaces petty cash given to employees and production assistants when in prep, on set, or in post-production. Soldo is a multi-user expense account that helps you control business spending. You can give Soldo cards to some or every employee, to entire teams or even contractors instantly. Transfer funds to all card holders. And you can use Soldo for free for 3 months with the code FilmmakersPod. Soldo.com. Listen for more info in today's episode of the Filmmakers Podcast. Hello and welcome to episode 303 of the Filmmakers Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk filmmaking, from indie film to studio films and everything in between. How to get them made, how to make them, and how to try not to F it up, in our very, very humble opinion. I am Giles Alderson, and I'm delighted to let you know that on today's show, we have director Petr Jákl and actress Sophie Lowe. She is the star, and he is the director of Medieval. Medieval is the story of the 15th century Czech icon warlord Jan Zizka, who defeated armies of the Teutonic Order and the Holy Roman Empire. This movie stars Ben Foster, Michael Caine, Till Schweiger, William Moseley, Matthew Good, and the fantastic Sophie Lowe, who we are chatting to on today's episode. With Sophie, we chatted about her acting career and what it's like working with legends. With Petr Jákl, we talk about how he got Medieval made, what it was like directing Michael Caine, the prep and shooting behind it all, how he raised the finance, what it was like doing the fight scenes and shooting underwater. He also talks about why scenes deserve to be in the film, why he prefers prep and post to shooting the actual film, and dealing with problems on and off the set. First of all, thank you for listening. You're amazing. Really appreciate all your love, support always on the socials. Keep that up. A couple of shout outs from the last couple of weeks. Annabelle Knight, Tim Auld, Brendan Cleaves, Philip Pugh. Thank you. Thank you for your love. And Faith Elizabeth. I love it when people wear our merch. It's pretty cool. Speaking of which, you can get our merch from our merch store, which is online at our website, thefilmmakerspodcast.com. If you have any questions, by the way, get in touch, thefilmmakerspodcast@gmail.com, and we will return emails when we can. We're all busy. We're all making films at the moment, but we do want to help, so we will if we can. Also, a huge shout out to the Female Film Club. They have their latest event, 25th of November, if you are free. If you're around in London, it really is worth going to. Sign up to the Female Film Club. I believe it's free, and it's not just for females, but they target female filmmakers, and they really help the indie female filmmaking scene. So get in touch with amazing Liza and her team there. And remember, we have loads of Patreon bonus episodes for you, and I imagine there might be a little bit from this Medieval episode as well. Toby cuts them down, and Hugh also does a brilliant mini episodes series, talking to short filmmakers, talking to people behind the scenes, and it's much more of a pocket podcast for you. So check it out, the Filmmakers Podcast /Patreon, link to that, and the Female Film Club are in the show notes. It is Friday, as you probably know if you listen to this on a Friday. If you're surprised that we have 2 in a week, it's going to happen quite a bit coming up. We had so many offers for amazing episodes, we couldn't turn them down because it was amazing people like Sophie Lowe and Petr Jákl. So we were like, we have to do it. Coming up next Tuesday, we have the director of Causeway, the Jennifer Lawrence starring movie. Everyone's talking about this being award-winning. Director Lila Neugebauer and producer Justine Cairocci. That is next Tuesday for you. And then next Friday, we have director Phyllis Nagy, the director of Call Jane, the Elizabeth Banks, Sigourney Weaver and Kate Mara starring feature film. So join us for those two. How super exciting. All right, this week's episode, who should we have first? Let's go for actress Sophie Lowe. She is fantastic in Medieval. She really is brilliant. Credits before this include Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, The Returned, The Beautiful Lie, and Romper Stomper TV series. In terms of feature films, she starred in Butterfly Tree, Blow the Man Down, Above Suspicion, and is the lead in Medieval. So sit back, relax, and enjoy my chat with the delightful Sophie Lowe. Hey Sophie, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Well, very good, thank you. What was it about, I suppose, the acting side that really drew you? What was the bug for you? Was there a moment? Do you remember a certain moment where you went, okay, this, if only I could get paid for doing this?
There was a couple of little things, but I think the main one was I was watching, we're studying Romeo and Juliet at school.
Right.
And I was just at that age where love was just oh my God. It's just oh my God. I mean, I don't know if you were like that.
It still is, oh my God.
Yeah, but it's
different.
This new thing. You're oh my God, I feel so intense and crazy about this.
Yeah.
And I just was oh my God, Romeo and Juliet's just so amazing. And we're watching the movie, but the Baz Luhrmann version. And I just was channeling everything I was feeling about this guy into that. And it just the fact that I could act that and use my own emotions, and it just made me feel so free and good. And I just kept following that feeling. But I first started doing because I went to a performing arts school, I first started doing singing and dancing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wanted to be a pop star.
Ah, did you?
I want to do something like that. Yeah.
The idea of it sounding cool, but actually reality is
actually. And then, and then I found acting through that. Mm-hmm. And then I was this is it.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. It just made sense to me to have an outlet for everything that was going on in my head.
Which is, I think, really important as creatives. You just need to put it somewhere, otherwise it just gets tangled up and you get messy with it.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that then with directors? For instance, you've worked on some amazing projects, and Medieval is amazing, and you're brilliant in it, by the way. So cool. I watched it last night and I was you're fantastic in it.
Thanks.
You're working there with Petr Jákl, working with directors like that then, on something like Medieval, and then in the past on the stuff you've done and all the telly. What is it you want from directors? What works for you, and what did Peter bring for you to get that great performance?
I think what I really respond to is if they trust me to bring it to life. And because Peter really, had so much going on. It was just epic. Every day was something epic.
Swords and heads being lopped off and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm in the back, I'm oh my God. But the fact that he just trusted me to, obviously we would talk and he would direct me and stuff, but he knew that I understood Catherine enough to just let me do my thing, which I really liked. As that makes me feel he trusts me, and it gives me confidence to trust myself. Because when I feel, sometimes when directors over direct, I feel I'm doing something wrong, but it's not necessarily that, but I'm just an actor where I'm oh my God, sensitive.
Sure, let's go with sensitive. Yeah.
And if they say, if I'm not getting what they want, and they keep doing it again and again, I feel I'm doing something wrong. But that's not necessarily what it is. Maybe they think they just want this certain thing that is in their mind, and they know, I don't know, but that just makes me go, oh my God, I'm doing it wrong.
I see. So basically they can micro direct. So there's, and I think each actor's different anyway. The ones I've worked with, everything's different. You've got to talk to each actor differently. And if certain actors don't want the micro on this line, breathe on this one, do this, push this emotion there, that and the other. Some actors want an arc. What you're playing in this scene is just you're feeling death, or you're feeling angry, or it can be something like that. Whereas play love, and some actors work with that, right? And maybe you're that type, so sometimes over directing doesn't work for you. Is that kind of what you mean?
Yeah, I think when it's too micromanaged and structured, I get kind of like, because for me, it's kind of course, like you hit your marks and stuff, but each time you don't know what the other actor is going to give you. So you have to like be able to adjust and respond. And if it's too like, oh, I have to do this because the director said I have to like not move my head, like I have to like say it like this, but he just said it differently. And I'm like,
yeah, line readings.
It's not natural. I like to be very natural.
No, I agree. A director should never give line readings. It just doesn't work. It's like, if you're going to give a line reading, then you should be an actor. Go be an actor, because actors don't want that. That's no good for them unless they specifically ask for it. Does that make a difference then if a director has been an actor or is an actor? Do you go, oh, okay, this script I will work with them on. Maybe it isn't, you know, the one you want to do right now, but actually, you know, the director's going to push you and challenge you. Does that help you when choosing projects?
I don't really think like that. I'm usually just like, is this person nice? Do I get along with them? Yeah, I just go off like why they're making this project and what is like, what they want to tell from it, or like what they want to like, what's their reasoning behind it. And if it's something like superficial, I'm like, But if it's like, oh, this means a lot to me, and, you know, because of this and this, I'm like, oh, they're so excited. And it's just like, because you have to collaborate with this person just like for so long.
So long.
And you really want, you know, you hope you like each other. So I just go off like, if they're a nice person, really.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. And obviously, if you like the script as well, I imagine.
Oh, so, of course.
Of course. Of course, that one.
Yeah, if you like the character and the script and that, and that definitely helps.
Yeah, you're like, no, the script was terrible, but I like the director, so I'm doing it. What was it about Medieval then that, you know, Catherine's such a great role as well. So maybe it was that, and obviously it was probably Peter as well.
Yeah.
But was there anything else when you read that script that did you go, oh, I really want to get my teeth into this? Because it's not something you've necessarily done before. You've done a lot of dramas, you've done a lot of you know, emotional things. But I suppose with Medieval then, was it like, oh, I want to do this? Yeah,
it was. The thing about Catherine that got me excited was she wasn't just like a damsel in distress. She wasn't just like, I'm sure there's parts where she's like, you know, has to be because there's no other option, but she's got strength and she's got like her own voice, even especially in that time period where that's just very extremely rare. So to balance that period with like a kind of stronger female character was just like, that's really cool. And also I love period dramas. Like I've always wanted to be in like a period piece, and so I was like, oh my God,
yes, I have to do this.
And then I met Peter, and he was super nice and excited and just
tick,
so passionate. And I was like, this is gonna be fun. And Prague, and I just was like, this is gonna be epic. And the cast, I was like, yes, please.
Ben Foster and the team. Oh my god, yeah, you tick. What I suppose any like for other actors out there in terms of, you know, your career is massively on the up and you're going forward. Is there anything you've learned along the way that could help some actors out?
You know, we always get taught how to act, but we never get taught how to deal with all the rejection and all the everything else that comes along with getting a job and the pressure of it all, if it's successful and everything like that, you know. And I think being aware of your mental health and being aware of your what makes you feel good and having a place to come back to be grounded and be around people that really know you is important, because it's such a weird industry and you can really, you know, get sucked into bad places. And luckily I had like a really strong support system around me that I was able to stay grounded. But, you know, I've seen cases where it's like, it can get on top of you. So I think just being able to deal with the rejection is probably the hardest part. And I think just looking after yourself and your mental health is really, really important.
Amazing. That's so good and so true. Well, listen, thank you so much. You are amazing in Medieval, honestly. Really, you should be so proud of your performance. I'm going to shout out Yorkshire again, because we're both Yorkshire people. Yorkshire. Thank you for this. And yes, good luck with the release. And
thank you.
Yeah, all the best. Lovely to meet you.
Thanks so much. Yeah, you too.
Take care, Soph. Bye. Bye. And there it was. That was my chat with Sophie Lowe. Isn't she incredible? How cool is she? I enjoyed that a lot. So before we get to director Petr Jákl, let's play the trailer of Medieval for you.
Power. Tyranny. Violence. Europe was engulfed in war, plague, and famine. Jan, I need your help. Catherine is the last chance to help this kingdom. Her uncle is the King of France. You must unite Europe. Kidnapping her is the only way. We don't kidnap women. The King's rules are God's rules.
You're not letting me go.
I need you alive.
It will be close. I need to find her.
I know who did it, and those soldiers are never gonna find her. Why? Because I trained him. Tomorrow, she will be yours.
You must protect her.
I will do whatever it takes. I will burn every tree in the forest.
He cannot be allowed to get Catherine.
If you choose to fight, you may die. But for your cause, and that is a good death! Who's got?
Kings may be chosen by God, but they still make the mistakes of men.
Now let's chat to director Petr Jákl. He was a stuntman, worked on XXX. He was an actor for years and he produced movies. He managed to break out with his directorial debut in Kajinek. And then off the back of that, he made, which was a big hit in Czechoslovakia. He then followed that up with Ghoul, his second feature, again a huge hit, which led him on to produce The Last Full Measure, The Misfits, and bestsellers as an exec producer as well as The Inhabitant, which also stars Michael Caine. And in the meantime, he has directed Medieval. He's also written the screenplay for this film alongside Peter Bock. So, without further ado, here's my chat with Petr Jákl. Enjoy. How are you? So nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm good. And you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Well, congratulations on the film. Medieval was fantastic. I thought it was just a brilliantly well-made historical action. Some of the sword play, the lopping off of heads, the blood, the whole fighting side of it was just incredible. It was really well made. The whole film was brilliant. So well done, you.
Thank you.
First of all,
thank you.
How does it feel now to have your film, coming out?
For me, it's always like, before the release, you are trying to do everything to make it as good as possible, to talk about it, to promote it, to do everything. Yeah. And once it's out, you go suddenly like, oh, fuck. Then you feel bad. You feel good. Some people tell you it's amazing. Some people, write it's not that amazing, or, they didn't understand something. They didn't like something. And you go like, oh my God. Yeah. So it's always very difficult time, and I think the first month after the, release is the most difficult. I think I always hate when I have to open newspapers or to see what was the box office. It's so stressful. It's so stressful that you never know. Is it gonna, would people like it or not? is it going to be successful in in theaters? And it's difficult, and sometimes and especially now with medieval, because before I had 2 movies I directed and produced and wrote 2 movies before. One was a small horror genre movie, Ghoul. And before there was a thriller about the most famous Czech prisoner. So, but this one we released at the same time in the Czech Republic and Slovakia, and then also in and at the same time in US. And so I knew I was controlling the whole campaign here. And we were actually number 1 5 weeks, 5 weekends in a row, which is incredible.
Wow!
Also in Slovakia, we were number 1. But in US, I had just I couldn't do anything. I was just watching it, and and it did okay. It didn't do really good because we didn't spend enough money. We just felt like it's not worth the risk, especially in these days. And it's just we would have to spend as much money as we spent on the whole movie, so it was impossible for me to risk. But it feels great because there's a lot of people who feel like you and who feel that there's something what they like about the movie, that it's emotional. And, so the story, and also, I wanted to show and tell people, this is our country. This is, our beautiful country with all the castles. This is, a hero we have here, and we learn about him at school. And to tell Czech people, you should be a little bit more proud, because you've got this great history. And and just to tell the story which I thought should be told, and about the fighting for justice and all these things.
Yeah, which you have done, and it comes across brilliantly. And the locations, the castles, everything about it was just. Okay, this looks high end. There was no question about it. You're like, okay, they know what they're doing, these filmmakers, and they've done it. Now, going from your first 2 films, Ghoul, and your Czech film I cannot pronounce, and I'd love to know how to pronounce it. Caine.
Yes.
To go from those 2 movies, it's always hard to get films funded anyway. It's always so difficult. But how did you do that with this film? Because you're heavily involved here in the making of this. You and Peter Bock, you'd both written Ghoul together, and you directed Ghoul. You both worked together on them, and then the same here. But this is a different beast. You've got big names in this. Ben Foster's a huge name. You've got Michael Caine. The list goes on. How did you do it? How did you go about getting this film made?
Yeah, when I produced the first movie, I got very lucky, I would say. I had great partners, and then basically distributors told me that the maximum is viewers in theaters is 250,000, because that was for the thrillers at that time. Nobody had more, and actually we had 3 times more, which was absolutely incredible. So it was a big success. And I decided that I could do another movie, and I did this, and I wanted to change
genres.
I wanted to do something different. Yeah. And I love horror movies, and I love found footage movies. So it was the cheapest way how to do it. And also I was able to do it in English. Because I wanted to show and prove that I can direct in English. Because I was also planning another movie, it was medieval. So and when we shot it, we had the box office of Ghoul was the highest box office for horror movie ever in the Czech history. Not just Czech horror movie, but all the horror movies.
Wow!
So it was another great thing,
Why do you think that was? What do you think the reason was that it did so well? Both of your movies, first 2.
Yeah, because both of these movies were different, and I tried to do them differently. I don't have a film school, so I've been on set last 30 years.
You've been a stunt coordinator, actor, and it's amazing work. I was just
watching all the time. And then I decided to do it as a director, and I had a vision, and I wanted to do it my way. Even somebody told me, no, you cannot do it like this. You cannot shoot the action like this. You have to do it this way. But I didn't. And it paid off because people felt like it's something different, what they didn't see here in the Czech production. So they thought like that's something what they like about the first movie. And the horror, it was actually very ugly. I wanted to make it very ugly and unpleasant. So that was something where many people said, "Oh my God, I was so scared. I couldn't finish, watching the movie in theater, and I left." So it helped the movie. So many people went there and they said, "Oh yeah, I have to watch it." So it was good to scare people. And then the third movie was medieval, and I was more ready. And before I couldn't do it because it was still very difficult for me. It was different kind of level of production. And as you mentioned, those stars, I didn't know how to direct. When I was thinking about it, how I'm going to direct Michael Caine, I just, it's Michael Caine, but he is so great. Yeah. And he's so humble and so unbelievable person, and also I love his wife too. So we became friends, and I shot another movie with him right after medieval. It's called Bestsellers, and it was shot in Canada. It's already out, but it's just like it was beautiful. And Michael Caine is also starring in our video game for medieval, because we're gonna have a video game next year.
Wow.
And we're going to be using all the scenes. All the scenes which we didn't use in the movie. So we're going to recut the movie. It's going to be like POV of the main character, but you're still going to have all these other actors there. And you will be able to play, that game and basically find out what are the motivations of those characters and do this side quest and do other stuff. So it's brilliant, and it's amazing that Michael was, willing to do that for us.
And be a big part of it. And that's amazing. Those collaborations are so hard to get, and when you can get them, what a joy. Fan mail. Fan mail. Sponsored by Soldo. Hello, Toby. Tell us which famous person wrote to us this week.
We got tons of fan mails this week.
Of course we did.
As usual. Yeah, and one letter stood out the most, actually, from a Mr. Freddy Krueger. You may know him from the Nightmare on Elm Street films. They were quite popular in the 90s. He hasn't worked since.
Oh, must have been a nightmare for him.
Yeah, he was quite burned out after all the sequels. He took some time off and wrote his own drama.
Oh, wow.
He wants to do a remake of Edward Scissorhands, actually. But before, he wants to do another remake of Alice in Wonderland.
You must have always dreamt of doing that.
And as we at the Filmmakers Pod are the forefront of indie filmmaking, he has asked us for help. Can we help?
Well, of course we can, because we use Soldo.
What's Soldo?
I'm so glad you asked, Toby. Soldo is a payment solution that replaces petty cash given to employees or production assistants. You'll be able to track spending real-time, instantly transfer funds to all card holders for free, establish budgets and rules, and so much more.
Get 3 months for free by using the code FilmmakersPod.
Welcome to Wonderland, Alice.
Well, thank you for getting in touch with us, Freddie. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can make your dreams come true.
And join us next week to find out which famous person needs our help.
So you mentioned how hard it, you thought, how am I going to direct Michael Caine? And obviously he became a friend. But how did you go about it? Did you plan what you were going to say? Did you talk to him before? Did he just turn up on set? How did your mindset work when you're directing someone like Michael Caine?
It was really beautiful moment. I still remember, and I will forever remember, because Michael, I was at my cottage and suddenly there was a phone ringing and I just answered it, and there was, "Hello, it's Michael Caine here. You've got lovely script. I'm looking forward to shooting with you." And I was like, what? I couldn't say anything. And then he goes, "Yeah, I'm looking forward to it," And then I went down and I told this to my family, and we were yelling like, yeah. And basically, he was the only actor who actually ever called me on his own. himself. Because otherwise managers or agents are calling you and telling you, yeah, he will do it, whatever. But he called me.
I love that.
And it was absolutely incredible. And then I was thinking, how can I direct Michael Caine?
Yeah.
And when he got to Prague, I talked to him about everything. And then I said, okay, how you want to do it? And he said, no, just tell me what you want. I'm going to do it. And then we can fix it. And I always just told him, hey, can you do this? He did it. Wow. And then he came back and said, do you want me to change something? And I said, yeah, maybe you could change this. And he changed it. And he never asked any questions, nothing. He was just just doing what I wanted.
What a dream.
Which is unbelievable. It was like, it's a dream. Yeah. It was a dream.
Oh, congratulations. It obviously says a lot about you as well, that you knew what you wanted and you knew what you needed to get from the scenes. And as a director, sometimes people can get scared and go, if you're forthright and go, this is what I need from the scene. And if he says, tell me what you want, and you tell him and then he does it, well, that's because that makes you a good director. But if he says, tell me what you want, and you're like, well, I'm not really sure. He's like, this film could be nothing. So it really does show. You must have done so much prep work to get to that point already, right? I mean, you must have, storyboarded this and really thought about your shots, because it's beautiful. Like the way you've staged it all is really beautiful. So did you plan that? Had you gone deep into storyboarding and shot listing?
Yeah, I mean, I've been planning this for a long time, and I had quite a lot of time to do that. But I was trying to cast the lead first, and that was very difficult. So I didn't have the lead, for about like 2 months before the shooting. I got Ben Foster,
who's amazing.
And then right one week after that, he was. And then 1 week later, it was Michael Caine. And then everybody wanted to be in a movie with Michael Caine.
Yeah, suddenly it's like, hey, we've got Michael. Oh, can I be in it? Can I be in it?
Yeah, so that was awesome. That was suddenly a game changer. Yeah, and I was planning everything, but everything was in my head. Sometimes I didn't have it on paper because we were changing it so fast that sometimes what we storyboarded or we also did some rehearsals and we shot it was different later on because we changed the location, we changed some setup of the fights or choreography, and so sometimes I had to really carefully explain what was changed, how we gonna do it, and I did it every morning. And I had to prepare it in the night before. So it was very difficult for me because we had to change quite a lot of stuff because of the budget, or we had to change locations. And so it was always changing something.
I think that's just the way it is, right? We set out standards really high about how we're going to shoot something, and then money doesn't come, or the location falls down, so you have to change the way you're planning to shoot it, which is good because then you're prepared. There's nothing worse than going, what am I going to do? I can't shoot anything now. It's like, well, yeah, you've got to think of the second plan B, plan C, and plan Z, because you're probably going to be shooting plan Z most of the time. Films.
Sometimes for sure.
For sure. Let's go back. That obviously at the time you said it wasn't like, it was about a month before you got Ben Foster and then Michael Caine not long after that, before you started shooting. But at that point, had you already got the money in? Had you got investors already on board with the promise that you would get a certain cast level? Talk us through that.
Yeah, I actually got most of the money on board. Actually, it was all the money at that time. But once I got Ben Foster, Michael Caine, Til Schweiger, Matthew Good, William Mosley, all these, Sophie Lowe. So then I had to just go back to the investors and ask them for more, because it just I wanted to make it better and bigger. So I came to them and I explained them why, and they all agreed. So it was really great that I could get this money for that. And then we started shooting, and it was very close to the shooting date. And of course, I spent some time as a producer on it. And as a director, I just I would always want more time. but nothing is perfect. So I had it in my head, as I said.
Yeah, that's great. And you had Cassian Elwes as one of your producers as well as Kevin Bernhardt. Now, Cassian, for those who don't know, is a huge, big producer. He's very well known around the world. He did The Butler and I Origins. And yeah, he's just a huge, huge producer. How did you get him involved? Was that a case of you were just putting the script around, you were going around? Did he come to you? Talk us through that.
Yeah, I met him through my friend. And he told me about him, that he trusts him and he's a great producer. And I said, okay, could we try to give him the script to read it and tell us something about it? And he read the script and he said that he really likes it, that he doesn't know the story, but he really likes, how it's written and what is there. So we agreed that he would produce it with me.
Wow.
So then we started to cast.
Right.
And after we got Ben Foster, who was it was because of him, because he did some movie with him before. So he knew him, he called him, he explained him the situation. So he helped me a lot. And then I said, hey, I want Michael Caine for Lord Boresh. And he said, no way, it's not going to happen. I've done close to 100 movies, actually more, when he was an agent. And he said, and I always wanted it was my dream to do a movie with Michael Caine, but it's not going to happen. So I said, no, please, can we send it to him? Can we try it? He said, please. Okay, let's try it. Yeah. So we tried it and it happened. And then he got absolutely crazy. And he sent me a picture of him when he was 13 and Michael Caine next to him on that picture. And he said, Peter, it's been a dream for me for 50 years. And I would never believe that it would happen with you, a boy from Eastern Europe. And, he sent me this message. I was like, oh my God, it was super emotional. And then I produced the other movie with Michael Caine with him, because we felt like we have to do this, and whatever is possible to do with Michael Caine, we would do it. So that was it.
I see. Isn't that lovely that you wanted to work with Cassian and then actually he guessed yes, and then it worked out the other way because, suddenly you got in Michael Caine. And did you do anything special with the Michael Caine? Did you send a specific letter to Michael Caine with the script, or did you just literally send the script to his agent?
I sent him some description why I would like to have him.
Yeah. Okay.
And I always do that because I think it's good, and if those agents give it to those actors, I don't know. I never know if they get it.
Yeah. You never know.
But usually later on, if they get the part, they gave them also, they give them also the letter. And I think it helped because I always try to explain why. And why he fits for the story. And Michael was my first choice, which is pretty rare in these days. You usually don't get the one you dream of because he doesn't have time. He costs too much money. He is, he doesn't like the script. He doesn't fit for that. Whatever. He's injured. Something. So it's very, very rare to get somebody, and especially if it's Michael Caine.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Let's talk about directing some of these scenes then, because, you've got, like I say, these amazing set pieces. One in a cave specifically stuck out. There was another one really early on when you're setting the scene with everything that's happening and who's the goodies, who's the baddies, if there is such a thing, because it's a very grey area in a lot of these films anyway, as it should be. You have worked on stunts before, but you've been an actor many times. You in the film XXX. You've worked a lot in this field. How do you set up some of these scenes where you've got, like I say, some of the deaths were incredible. The fighting, the sword work, the lopping off of anything, the underwater stuff you did as well. How do you plan that? What do you do as a director to go, how do I get the best out of this scene?
I always do it as I try to imagine it in my head. And whatever I feel is right, I do that. And I follow my instincts always, So if somebody tells me, no, this is not good, and I know why I want it, because every shot should have a reason. It's not only like how beautiful it's going to be visually, but it's also about how you want to show something. you want to use lower angle to make that person look bigger and more dangerous, or just like you want to shoot it in motion for some reason and just like lose him in the middle of the shot. So there should be always a reason why. And sometimes I don't even know, I don't even think about it, but I felt like this is the right thing how to do it and get that, get what I need from the shot. So I always planned it, and it was especially for the underwater stuff, which were, it was really difficult shoot, and it takes usually like 2 or 3 times longer than regular shooting. So underwater shooting is really difficult because you've got too hot water, too cold. Somebody cannot hold breath enough. It's too murky, too clear. So there is always something. I think it's about directing. For me, it's about like how I feel, what is in my head, how it comes together. And I always try to see the big picture, just why I'm doing this scene, what it has to say, what is the main reason why it's in the movie. Because if you forget about this reason, then suddenly you find out, oh, what would happen if it's not in the movie? Nothing. And that's a problem. And that's a problem because, you just have to, every scene has to deserve to be there. And of course, I always try to do it as beautiful as possible because I think like films should be, beautiful in a way, like maybe not beautiful, but like strange or somehow unique. And that's, just visually, it should be something what you want to watch in a big theater, if possible.
I suppose let's look at specifically working with your fight team here then. So let's say you are literally, you've got a big set piece coming up. How much do you talk to your DP about what you need? And then what in there do you find new? Because I like to do that. I like to plan everything I'm going for and then go, but look what they're doing. If you come here, you've got this great shot down here. Do you do the same? How much do you talk to your DP about, being free and finding new stuff on the day?
Yeah, I think it's all like, quite a lot. I usually have some idea and I tell him, I would like to do it this way. And he tells me, okay, it's possible. Or we have this challenge. It would take, much longer to prepare this or that. And I say, okay, so that's too difficult. We cannot spend this much time on it, so let's do it this way. But I usually plan like what is going to be close up, what is going to be wide shot. And then when I get to the set, I already know I would like to have the camera there. But when I'm there and suddenly I see the setup, I feel, okay, no. It's going to be better if we start here, lower angle going up. So we try, it looks great. If not, we find something else. But usually it's, we are not changing, once we decide to do something, we are doing it. But if you use, for example, smoke or, something like that, the wind can change a lot, and suddenly just like it's not doing what you wanted.
Oh God, yes. It's so annoying.
Yeah, so annoying. And you cannot imagine, you think you picture that, you're like, how beautiful it's gonna be. And it's beautiful before you say action. Yes. And then once you say action, everything goes wrong, wind changes, and everything is wrong. Yeah. So it's Mother Nature, and sometimes we had to help it in the post, so we've got like over 600 VFX, and we have had to fix some scenes and to, for example, this smoke, sometimes it was great and there was a lot of smoke, and immediately the shot after there was almost no smoke. And you have to, in the movie, once you cut it, you have to fix it. So you have to add the smoke there because, it's impossible to get rid of the smoke from the previous shot. So you kind of like,
and it's one of those things that I've talked to a few DPs about now is it worth doing on set because of that reason? Wind blows, something happens, a shot doesn't, and it's like, actually, is it better to put it all on in post? But I find, and I don't know how you feel about this, I find that then on set going, it doesn't look as good as I want it to look. You want it to look as good. And that really frustrates you and everyone else to go, oh, this could look a bit crap. And it's that feeling, right? I don't know. There's something about trying to nail it in camera that is just special.
Yeah, absolutely. Just, I always feel when I tried, they told me, like, don't use smoke at all. I said, no. I think I have to create these moments when I see him, walking through the smoke and
out of it. Yes,
it creates many beautiful moments. And they said, no, we can create them later on. But I said, no, it's not going to be the same. So I always try to create it on set, like the old style. But sometimes it was so difficult. Then later on, I was saying to myself, maybe you just like should shoot it without everything. And then edit, but at the end of the day, there are moments which were really shot on the set and which are beautiful, and I don't think we could create them in VFX.
Yeah, and that's true. But the VFX team are always saying to you, "No, please don't, because we can't put our VFX over the top of smoke," and it is something.
Exactly.
It's a problem. Listen, we got to wrap up. I've got one more question for you on Medieval. It is stunning. When you were having tough days on set and things were going wrong, let's say, or it wasn't going how you wanted, how did you get through that mentally? How can we help some of our filmmakers know that you got through it and made an incredible film like this, even though some of the days might have been really, really hard?
Yeah, I think for, everybody likes something from the process more and hates something, and it's different with everybody. I love pre-production. I love post-production. I don't like actual shooting.
No way.
No,
wow.
Yeah, it's like so stressful. And, I mean, there's always something wrong. Sun is going down. You have to finish it immediately. So, and I had a lot of difficult times during the shooting because of the weather. And also, if you have this kind of budget for this kind of movie, you have to plan really well. And sometimes you cannot have what you need. So you have to find some other way how to do it or fix it, So it was the shooting was difficult. And especially the first day of the shooting, first week actually, we were shooting a huge fight from the beginning of the movie. And we were shooting at a location, which is a quarry close to Prague. It's really hard to get there. There's one-way road, and we were shooting immediately with Michael Caine and Ben Foster. And I was like, oh my God. And my friend director, told me, and, for example, Rob Cohen, who directed Triple X, I'm still very good friend with him, said, no, Peter, don't do
Michael Caine on your first day.
because you're not going to use it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I had to do it because of availability of Michael Caine and the location and the weather. Mm-hmm. And it was horrible. Nothing was right. Everything went wrong. And I was really exhausted, like after the whole shooting, after 1 week, and I had like another 50 days ahead. So it was brutal. I felt like very exhausted.
Right. I think that's a good lesson, isn't it? Yeah. But if you've got Michael Caine, you just shoot when you've got him. You shoot when you've got him. You've got to, and you want him to go, oh no, these guys are amazing. They know what they're doing. These guys are amazing. They know. This terrible Michael Caine. I can't do Michael Caine. But you want that, right? You need
absolutely.
That.
You just like cannot show anybody that that you feel bad or everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
And always people came to me and said, oh my God, I would panic. And you're so calm. You don't shout. You don't do anything. I was just like, yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's going to be good. But inside I felt like, oh my God, how are we going to fix this, that? And then I came home and I told this to my wife, and she was telling me, and she helped me so much, especially in these days. So she said, like, everything is as it should be. So just absorb it and don't fight it. Because if you're going to fight it, it's not going to make it better. You just like do whatever you can, but, just this is how it should be. So it's gonna bring good stuff for the movie, and it did. It actually did, and it created some moments which were created because I couldn't have something, so I created something else what was actually better than the original thing which I planned.
There you go. Good always comes out as long as you're prepared and you're there and you work your ass off and you make stuff happen. It does. And people around you will rally around you and make the film as best as it can be. I love that. Look, Petr Jákl, thank you so much. Did I get that right? Was I close?
Yes, it was very close.
Yeah, thank you. Very close. I'll take that. Thank you so much. Honestly, you've made an amazing film. Medieval is out on the 28th of October in theatres and on demand. Do go support this if you can. And if you're lucky enough to rise up and do well, and if you're lucky enough to go out there and make a film like this, it's your duty to send the elevator back down. Petr Jákl, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. It was great talking to you, and good luck with this podcast. It's pretty great.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Cheers, buddy. All the best to you. Bye.
Absolutely. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The Filmmakers Podcast exists thanks to your support. If you'd like to ensure that we can keep on exploring the filmmaking world with you, subscribe to our Patreon.